serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is the man who ate the town.
Hey folks, and welcome to episode 142 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of February 24th through March 1st, already March 2020. My name is Tim Beeman.
My name's Ray Morgan.
And we're opening the recipe box. We are recording this episode of the Man Who Ate the Town in the Less Desirable Studios in the lab at Industry Hill. Whew, so apologies for last week for not being here. What I call my annual quote-unquote big job was underway, and that takes, with the exception of the Less Desirables, that takes total precedence in everything going on in my life. So,
let's see, a paying gig versus getting this recorded. Paying gig.
Paying gig?
Yeah.
Pretty good sized paycheck for paying gig. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. So we are back, and hopefully now we are back on schedule, and we'll be back weekly. To the sponsors, I apologize that I didn't talk about you last week. Like I said, I didn't even look at anything because I was busy working. So, all right. Well, according to Michael Hastings, there is a new Japanese food truck that offers real Japanese cuisine, not the Benihana style Americanized Japanese. Mari Phillips and her husband James have opened Dawn Express food truck, which has made stops in Winston-Salem at places like Southside Beer Garden, Radar Brewing right up the street, Old Nick's Pub in Arcadia, Foothills Tasting Room, and Jughead's Growlers and Pints. James actually grew up here and met Mari while he was in the Navy and stationed in Yokosuka, Japan. The couple have lived together in Winston-Salem for the past 20 years. One word that may make people perk up when talking about Dawn Express. Can you guess? Can you guess?
Lobster roll?
No, not lobster roll, although that would be great. Ramen.
Sushi?
Ramen. Yeah.
Okay.
She says, my son was the one who told me people here really want authentic ramen. You see on social networks now, people know about good ramen. People know about okonomiyaki, that's it. Which is Japanese savory pancakes. Mari said that she has longed for more authentic Japanese food in area restaurants. She also says most restaurants have Americanized Japanese food. I've been waiting till North Carolina was ready for authentic Japanese food. She takes pride in her homemade ramen, featuring her homemade pork broth and imported noodles. She says she does real Japanese street food. This is what they sell in Japanese yatai, which is food carts, when you go to festivals or to see fireworks. I'm not marketing to Japanese. I want Americans to enjoy Japanese culture. Now, I'm sure she's going to get some flack, complaints, and criticizing over the imported noodles part. But I think this is a great idea. Not everybody has time or the desire to sit and make those noodles. The people who complain of that have said that it takes a lot to do, and it takes up a lot of space and a lot of time. So I'm looking forward to trying the Dawn Express because I want to taste what real ramen tastes like, since no one is currently doing it in town the way they say it's supposed to. Speaking of that,
idea of ramen are those little noodles that you get in the grocery store for what, like 10 cents a pack?
Yeah, see, that's what I always thought it was, and it's not ramen. It's just not true ramen. I remember the first time that I did have it, was in the Botmobile, which is, no longer. It's actually, the truck is now Burger Supreme. So, yeah. Well, speaking of that complaining, Shokunin Ramen is having a pop-up tonight at Mission Pizza. They start at 6 p.m. and will go until they run out. There will be the Japanese Kit Kats served to each customer as well. And from what I understand, it's like the regular Kit Kats with strawberry instead of chocolate. So I'm sure that's not your kind of thing. But, because
I like strawberries.
But in place of chocolate?
With chocolate, yes.
Okay, but not in place of.
Well, yeah.
I know who I'm talking to.
True.
I know the person who, when Susan Schobacher brought chocolates to the last meeting that we all sit in, who was the first one to grab some out of that bag?
Yeah, that was me.
Ray was.
I didn't knock anybody over this time.
Yeah, but I saw you over like you were like the dog that's chained up and wanting to go forward.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. So if you get a chance tonight, go over to Mission Pizza for Josh Tressler's Shikonen Ramen pop-up that's going to be there. I don't know what the prices look like. I only saw it on Facebook. Back to the truck. I don't. Those are regular, like $7 to $14 for, which is standard for food trucks because they still got to pay the gas and all that stuff in the truck plus the stuff, and then they have to have a commissary somewhere that I'm sure they have to pay rent on. So everything looked good and sounded good for both of those, really. And yet another crab place has opened.
Wow, how exciting for us. Yeah, we needed more.
Crafty Crab is open on Haynes Mill Road. And truthfully, I am done with these crab places. I've had the stuff from the Crazy Crab on Peters Creek, and it was good, but not worth the money for the low country boil that they are imitating. You can check it out if you want. They're at 300 East Haynes Mill Road on Oak Summit Shopping Center, where the old Charlie's space was.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good to see some new growth on that end of town.
Yeah, which the thing is there's nothing like that on that side of town.
Correct.
I get it. However, when's Krusty Krab coming? That's the next one, right? Get some SpongeBob with the Krusty Krab thing.
I don't want anything out of the kitchen from the Krusty Krab. I've seen it. I've seen what they do in that kitchen. I don't want any of that food.
Yeah, I don't either. All right. So, La Chingada is close to opening in the old sidebar spot where Hutch and Harris was.
What did you just say to me?
Oh, you heard me. The space is still undergoing renovation, and the bar will offer beer, wine, and cocktails, but the owners prefer to keep the specifics under wrap until the bar is ready to open. Now,
didn't we just go to like a rated X version? I mean, I thought we were trying to stay PG-13, and you throw that word out there.
And the funny thing is the article that Michael Hastings wrote about this focuses more on the name than it does the actual bar, which, I love Michael to death, and I know what he was doing here. But if you want to read a really good article about Rigo and Juan, who own this and Xcaret, read Algernon Cash's article in Yes Weekly from last week. That was a great article.
That was a good article.
Yeah, written about that. But anyway, the name La Chingada has many slang connotations of the word of the name evokes, most of which are negative and even profane. The bar's name, which refers to La Chingada, has generated some discussion on social media. The social media basically has lost their mind. The word has many meanings in Mexico. It is the name of at least one town in the state of Veracruz. The word is also used in multiple phrases, some of which are negative and profane. Some of the common expressions are estar dado a la chingada, or to be ruined. Vamos a la chingada, or let's get the out of here. Vete a la chingada can be translated to as go to hell, or something more explicit. Maybe go do something with yourself that might or might not be intimate. And not go make love with yourself.
I love how you're skirting right around it. It's beautiful. It's a work of art.
Well, Rigo says that he is well aware of the negative connotations of some of these phrases, but he did not intend any of those interpretations and doesn't think his clientele will either. And I don't know if I'm calling BS on that. I know he kind of in the back of his mind is like, yeah, this kind of is like that. Mm-hmm. With the name, it's when you get in an argument with your wife or a sibling or whatever, and they tell you to go to hell. This is actually translating into the place to be. This is where you go when someone tells you to go to hell. They're not saying you're in hell. This is just, if they tell you where to go, you go to La Chingada. Now, he says it's not meant to be serious, not like go, have intimate love with yourself. But the someone who is a native of Mexico and a teaching professor of Spanish at Wake Forest said that the expressions containing chingada have negative connotations. The typical reaction from a Mexican or Spanish-speaking person will not be negative. She said her husband and her are both linguists, and when he told me about it, they both thought how interesting and smart a title. Her attitude was totally positive. Yeah. There are actual restaurants using La Chingada as a name in places like London, Paris, Toronto, San Jose, and Scranton, Pennsylvania, of all places.
Scranton.
Yeah. Yeah. Dunder Mifflin country there. So what the city did not want was someone saying La Chingada. So Rigo and Juan decided they're going to substitute the I for a period. So it's still pronounced La Chingada, but the sign for it, which is up and it looks really good, says La CH period Engada. So it's still La Chingada.
Yeah, they're trying to get around the laws that say you can't really put cuss words on your sign.
Right. And the deputy director of city planning development says that this meets all the criteria. It does not constitute a violation of the cited provisions. It doesn't violate any of the provisions cited in the ordinance. So there they go. They have it going on. Still no time as to when they will open, but it should be soon. I know Algernon is talking with them and working with them, and he says it's not very long. Right now, it's just a bunch of funny papers up on the windows. So you can stop and read a comic or two while you're there. But
I can do that.
Yeah.
I don't mind being amused.
So I'm actually pleased that it's there, and I like the name because it does at least provoke conversation. And
well, that's what they were trying to do.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I like it. I'm really, like you, I'm much more curious. What's my experience going to be when I get there? Yeah. There will
As opposed to, what are they going to call it?
Right. And they're like I said, it's going to be beer, wine, and cocktails, which I know they're going to focus on tequila because I've talked about that with Algernon. But there's also going to be some small plates offered. I don't think it's going to be full-on dining, but there will be bar food, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be Mexican food. It
right.
could be anything, as long as they can fix it in that little kitchen. So
yeah, they're not going to have a whole lot of space in there compared to what they've got at Xcaret.
Yeah, and I guess Rigo says that when we tell the whole story, people laugh. They understand how we meant the name. It wasn't meant to offend anyone. It's meant to make them laugh. And I did. Whenever I found out what it meant, I'm like, that's pretty funny. Because this town has a tendency to get a little too serious about itself. We need to be able to laugh about it. And that's what we're doing. So I have been back to West End Poke 4 more times.
I was going to say, it seems like that's your new favorite place.
Well, it's easy for me to get to. It's healthy. And so, I mean, I can't go to Zesto every day. I mean, I could, but it's just not the way it should be. And
I was going to say, Algernon will disagree with you on that.
Well, he actually probably would say, too, you don't have to be here every day. Because he probably gets tired of seeing me, too. But the thing is, especially with last week being what it was and as busy as I was, I needed something I could get to quick, get out of there quick, and know I'm getting good food. Yeah. And between Zesto and West End Pokey, it was pretty much my week. Because I needed to, and then got right back in here to the studio. And this morning, like I told you off the air in our pregame, I was here at 7:15 this morning. So it's been a lot of work in this studio in the last week and a half, and I dig it. I wouldn't want it any other way. Now, they've had some stumbling moments over at West End Poke, but they seem to have fixed their issues. Some people have claimed they didn't have flavor, but I got plenty of flavor. Again, they've only been open since last Tuesday, the Tuesday before, actually. So anyone's complaints were a bit premature, I think. I'm okay with critiquing, but to those saying they won't be back, I'd say that you're ridiculous.
Right.
I took Stephanie last Friday because she had a snow day, which was ridiculous. There was no snow. And she thought it was great too. I will say the only part that I am, if you could qualify it as disappointed in, is that the gyoza is from a truck and not made in-house. But the kitchen is small. It would take a little while, space to do there and time. And I order it every time, so no matter if they're on the truck or not, I still enjoy them and I still like eating them. So that's what, if I was going to say I was disappointed in something, I'm not.
That would be it.
Most everything else they make, I don't think the soba noodles are made in-house. That's crazy. But the other stuff that they do there, it's all made in-house. So, good stuff over at West End Pokey. In the West End, on the corner of Summit and Broad, where Broad meets Renolda. Also, I didn't have this in my notes, so I'm going to be winging it. Stephanie and I also on Friday, when we were spending the unexpected day together, once we left West End Pokey, we went down to Bobby Boy Bakery. Mm-hmm. She had a brownie. I had an eclair, a salted caramel eclair, and we spent the afternoon part of it anyway with Lainey Pope and Brianna Connor from Channel 12.
Nice.
Lainey and I are friends, and it was, hey, what you doing, Tim? Oh, nothing. What are you doing, Lainey? We're just going to have a glass of wine. Okay, we did. And then we bought a bottle of this wine, and it's called Viña Elysis, and it's from Spain. And
pretty good.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like I said, I bought the bottle after having a glass of it, and it works well with the chocolate brownie that Stephanie had, but it also worked, I thought, much to the surprise of the owner, and I forget his name, at Kavist. He says, well, it's personal preference. He's not one of those, this pairs well with this and that, and he agrees with most rational people that, wine pairing truly is a thing of taste and not of course, So right. It's what you actually prefer, and I like that kind of wine. They don't do the jammy type wines, but then again, jammy is also subjective. It's however you feel jammy is. I tasted plenty of dark cherry and strawberries and the things that I look for in jammy wines. Stephanie tasted a lot of those things too. And as per usual, whenever I finish a glass of wine, I like to go back and smell the glass again to see what the residuals were. And I smelled leather and tobacco in that. And I'm like, that's awesome, because I love those in a wine.
Those are good notes.
Yeah, so I recommend Bobby Boy Bake Shop and Kavist Wine Shop. They're in the same building, in the same doors, in the same room. So, and they are going to start...
You found one, you found the other.
Yeah, and they're going to start offering small plates and things like that. And I know that in talking with John Bobby when they first opened, there's going to be some wine dinners done there because Bobby Boy's Kitchen is a full kitchen, not just a bakery kitchen. So, and one last thing before we get to the food holidays, we talked about this back in, I want to say October, but the hot dog trolley tour is coming back.
Is it now?
Yeah, coming back both March 21st and April 18th. The cost is still $39 per person, but 3 or more people get $35 per person. So that's a $4 savings. But if you use the code MAN5 like it was last time, you get $5 off. Now, MAN5. Now, they are not disclosing where they're stopping, but like last time, you think about PB's and Pulliam's and Zesto and Doss's and Kernersville, places like that. The places that are, staples here in town. You may or may not go there, or they may go to a whole different place. I do know that they'll start at Kermit's at 10:15, or they'll leave for Kermit's at 10:15. But from there, where you go, I don't know if it's the same both 21st of March and the 18th of April, but there will be 2 tours. I know Jay Pierce is going on one, Chef Jay from Moselle's. Cool. And you should be done. Everybody gets a half a hot dog from each spot. That's basically 2 hot dogs. Because you really couldn't eat probably more. The longer that you're on that bus, it's going to start settling and you're not going to feel like eating.
Right.
And
I wondered, how many stops can you actually make before you're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, we're going to go with 4 because that's a half a hot dog, 4 places. It's 2 hot dogs total. And they have water and stuff on the trolleys, and Randy will be the chauffeur tour guide for that. You should be done about 12:30 and back to the pickup location, which is down by I guess it still currently is the YWCA Gateway on Main Street. I know they sold that to one of those mega church things, but for right now, I think it's still the YWCA.
Yeah. Just south of Old Salem.
Yep. So yeah, again, if you go to, what was the thing? Was it Winston-Salem Hot Dogs or Triad Hot Dogs? Hold on. TriadHotDogs.com. That'll take you to the event page, and you can sign up, schedule your thing there. Each tour will be 25 seats, so you'll have that to look forward to on the 21st and 18th, and that's 21st of March, 18th of April.
That's cool.
Yeah. Dig it. All right. So let's do the food holidays.
Let's.
And history.
What's coming up?
Today is the 24th, which is National Tortilla Chip Day. I like a good tortilla chip.
I do too.
It's also World Bartender Day, so support your local bartender.
Go drink.
If you have a favorite, make sure you go see them. If you have the ability and a driver, visit several. Just be responsible.
Be responsible.
Yeah, don't be hush. In 1857, on the 24th, the Los Angeles Vineyard Society was established at what would become Anaheim, California. In 1938, DuPont begins production of nylon toothbrush bristles. We've talked about that before. A patent had been granted in the year before. The nylon bristles replaced hog bristles, as we've talked about before. No more brushing your teeth with hog hair.
Yeah, let me put pig hair in my mouth. That's, I really like that.
You put some crest or something on the back of a pig and rub your teeth against it and see what happens.
Come back here, pig. I ain't got my left side done yet.
Yeah. My upper quadrant is all I got done. In 1989, on the 24th, a fossil egg was found in Utah that was 150 million years old.
That won't make any good scrambled eggs.
No. You know, they're saying now that stuff like that, when they find those fossil eggs and they can get DNA from it, that they're thinking, because our entire lives, I guess you and I were taught the same thing, that dinosaurs being probably reptilian, more were like cold-blooded animals. But they believe that dinosaurs actually were like a cross between a reptile and a bird. And that they're actually probably warm-blooded animals and not cold-blooded. So
the more we learn,
that's
the
right,
more complicated the scenario actually gets.
That's true. And none of us were there to talk about it today, so we only have to go by what we research.
Exactly. I mean, I've had some people claim that I was old enough to see the dinosaurs, but no. Just far enough back to know Lincoln, that's it.
My son sometimes calls me a dinosaur. Tomorrow, the 25th.
Let me take you in my little T-Rex arms and bite your head
off. My little bitty arms look like CeeLo Green. You ever notice he has these little bitty arms? Must have been crazy. The 25th, tomorrow, is Shrove Tuesday. Some people call it Fat Tuesday. Others call it Mardi Gras Day. And then, so it's Mardi Gras. It's also International Pancake Day, which is always on Shrove Tuesday. It can be February or March, whichever one that Fat Tuesday falls on. And because I guess people are giving up stuff the next day, they think pancakes is a good thing to see it off with. And of course, IHOP has a free Pancake Day event on that day. You get a free short stack of pancakes. And it's also a fundraiser for them. So not in the ordinary, they want to make money, but they actually do a charity fundraiser for that. On the 25th in 1901, the U.S. Steel was incorporated by J.P. Morgan, the first billion-dollar corporation. I thought that was older than 1901, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
On the 25th of 1908, at midnight, that's between the 25th and 26th, service through the Hudson and Manhattan Railway tunnels. Hudson and Manhattan Railway tunnels open to the public, carrying passengers between Manhattan and Hoboken, New Jersey. It was the first railroad tunnel under a major river in the United States.
Cool.
In 1958, on the 25th, Procter & Gamble Company registered Mr. Clean as a trademark.
Mr. Clean.
On the 26th, that is the first day of Lent. Do you recognize Lent? Do you partake in Lent? What do you give up usually? Chocolate?
Actually, no. I look at it the other way around. Instead of what am I going to give up, what am I going to add? What am I going to change in my life for the better? So, more time in spiritual disciplines, I find it is a really good way to experience Lent.
Okay. I'm
not going to give up my coffee. I'm not going to give up my chocolate. Ain't going to happen.
Okay. Well, I give up Lent.
You gave up Lent for Lent?
Yeah. Being as I'm non-religious, it didn't matter to me anyway. So it's just
right. Your religion is non-prophetic.
Yeah, mine's a non-profit. Prophet. On the 26th, it's National Pistachio Day. I'm a fan of pistachios. I say I'm a fan. I will eat them. It's not my favorite nut. I have peanuts are my favorite nut, and then cashews are my favorite legume.
Are cashews a bean?
They're a legume. Yeah, they're in the same family as poison oak and sumac.
Well,
yeah,
I did not know such a thing.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Because like you, peanut is probably my favorite nut.
Yeah. Especially
if I look at it from a consumption perspective.
Yeah.
There's especially when you count peanut butter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, cashews and almonds are right behind it.
Yeah, almonds I have grown to like, but still not something I'm going to seek out to find. Cashews, they're expensive, so I don't get them as often, but I will eat them I have to force myself to put the jar down because I will go through. My
Yes.
mother for Christmas got me one of those big Sam's Club thing, and it was gone within a week.
Wow.
I'm like, I gotta stop.
That's a lot of cashews.
Yes, it was.
One of our one of those big box retailers sells a coconut cashew. Yeah.
Wow.
Those are dangerous. They go even faster than regular cashews.
I need to try that.
You would enjoy it.
26th is also National Personal Chef's Day. That's both the 26th of February and the 16th of July. So to the Nikki Miller Cause and other places in people around this area who are personal chefs, I personally have my own personal chef. He's called my son.
Yes.
And
You got that covered.
Yep. He laughed whenever I said that yesterday, whenever I was typing this up, telling him, oh, it's National Personal Chef's Day. I have my own. He goes, and that was it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny, Dad.
yeah, whatever, man. Did I talk about the last time we recorded this that his team won the silver medal at the competition he was in at Johnson & Wales?
I don't know that you did.
Okay.
If you did, it's probably good to say it again.
Okay, well, a few weeks back, it was a Friday. It was when the storms came through. Remember?
Yeah.
And not tornado. I guess there was some tornadic activity, but torrential rains and storms were and everything. It was a Thursday and then into Friday. Well, he was supposed to have left Thursday and gone to Charlotte and been prepared the next day to compete in this contest, state contest at Johnson & Wales University in Charlotte. Well, the storms put the kibosh on leaving early, so I had to have him at Career Center at 5:30 Friday morning. Yeah. Me, it's not a problem.
Being somewhere. It's one thing to get up at 5:30, but to be somewhere at 5:30.
Oh, yeah. I had to get up at 4:45 so I can get a shower and get over, just in case I had to wake his ass up. Because he is hard to wake up.
Classic teenager.
But I got over there. He was already waiting. He was up and ready. He was excited.
Wow.
And he told me that, and I talked to his chef afterwards, but they got a silver, which does not necessarily equate to second place. There was 8 teams. There were 2 silvers, 3 silvers, and 5 bronze. No golds. However, had they finished on time, they would have gotten the gold. What had happened was, 3B, Trey, or whatever we call him on this show, my son, they was sauteing sweet potatoes for the dish he had to do. And he had a kitchen towel in his hand to pick up the pan. He adjusted his hand. The towel fell right as he was grabbing the pan, so he burned his hand. And
that really hurts.
And that did throw things off. So he was handicapped the whole second part of the competition. However, he was delegating, telling, because he was basically the team leader. He's like, do this and do that and do that and do this. And they missed it. His chef actually showed me it was about a half-inch pinch. They were that close. And then he told Trey that had they finished on time, it would have been gold, and that would have been the only gold team.
Wow.
I talked to Chef Estep, which is his instructor at school, and he pointed at Trey and just gave that nod like he's the man. And I had talked to Chef Travis, who's getting ready to open their new restaurant here soon. And I told him what was going on, and I said, he's going to be good if he sticks with it. And Travis said, we're building a lab to grow him in. And Trey knows this now, and I told Chef Estep, his instructor, and he said this guy is way ahead of his age.
Really?
He's cooking like a 24, 25-year-old, and he's only 17. Yeah. So somebody who's been in the business for a while, he really cares about this. And like I said, he was already up and ready to go, so he's excited about the competition.
That says something right there, because teenagers are not known for being up early and being excited.
No. He certainly was on it. So I was very proud of him. I posted a blog post about it, and not on the Man Who Went to Town, but on my personal useless things, needlove2.com. But yeah, I'm a proud papa, and I can't stop talking about it. So I'm surprised I didn't already talk about it on this show. Sorry for the distraction and the diversion, and I digress. On the 26th in 1895, Michael Joseph Owens of Toledo, Ohio, patented an automatic glass-blowing machine that could make multiple bottles at the same time. It was a big advance in bottle making. He founded the Owens Bottle Machine Company and the Libby Owens Glass Company. So I believe that's probably one of the people who, and they may do it themselves now, but in the beginning I believe they were making Coke bottles.
That probably so, yeah.
In 1919, on the 26th, the Grand Canyon National Park was established. It was 1.2 million acres in the northwest corner of Arizona. It is 18 miles across and over 200 miles long. 10 years to the day, the Grand Teton National Park was established in Wyoming. And yes, the Grand Teton means great teat or boobs. And that's truly what that means.
I didn't know that.
Yep. In 1945, on the 26th, a wartime midnight curfew on nightclubs, bars, and other places of entertainment goes into effect in the United States.
That's sad.
It is sad. In 2008, the Global Seed Vault, the Doomsday Seed Vault, opened deep within an Arctic mountain in the remote Norwegian archipelago of Svalbard. One more time, Svalbard. It has the capacity to store 4.5 million seed samples from around the world and shield them from man-made and natural disasters.
I mean, it's a great idea. Yeah. Not sure that we really need it, but it's not a bad idea.
I mean, if nuclear holocaust happens, they at least have the master seeds there, right?
Yeah, but if we have a nuclear holocaust, how are we going to get back to this place? Will anybody even remember this place exists?
Oh, yeah. I think the nuclear holocaust is only going to affect certain areas. It's not like we're blowing up the entire Earth.
We're going to blow up the Earth with my C-43Q space modulator.
But,
oh, dear.
But...
Oh, dear.
yeah. So, yeah, I think...
I do so hate mutiny.
On the same day, on the 26th, all 7,100 Starbucks coffee shops in the United States closed for 3 hours of employee training. I'm pretty sure there was some insensitivity or other ridiculous reason that they had to do that because, people are dumb. And...
really dumb.
Yeah. So...
Really, really dumb.
Maybe it's like, here's why you tell people you like working at Starbucks and not the other local coffee places that are much superior in quality than we are. But,
we digress.
We are a huge conglomerate of... because they also own Seattle's Best. So they have a lot of
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Because it's all from Seattle, right? So, yeah, they I think it was about the time Borders closed that they acquired them.
Okay.
Because that was the coffee shop that was in all the Borders. Seattle's Best.
Okay, yeah.
So they probably need a little money at that point when they lost Borders. Oh, what are we going to do?
How about we buy you a Starbucks?
Okay, let's do it. On the 27th, it's National Kahlua Day. I can deal with it.
Yeah.
It's also National Strawberry Day. Have that dipped in Kahlua. How about that? Dip some strawberries in Kahlua.
About coffee and strawberry.
What?
You sure?
Yes.
Chocolate and strawberry. Well, yeah, absolutely.
And
I've never had Kahlua and strawberry.
have you had Kahlua in coffee?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then why not?
Well, see, Kahlua is coffee flavored.
But yes, but if you add like the for like a Black Russian,
Yes.
you add chocolate to the Kahlua, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there you have the means to put some of that together.
Okay. I'm going to have to try that.
I'll make something up. I'll get there eventually. It's
Yes, you will.
it's also National Chili Day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm a little cold right now just thinking about it.
So Kahlua, strawberries, chili, and it's Fritter Thursday. Every
Okay.
Thursday after Shrove Tuesday, which again could be February or March, is when that happens. And it's National Protein Day. So it's a big day for food holidays in history right there.
It's bigger than I even knew.
On the 27th in 1827, the very first Mardi Gras celebration was held in New Orleans, or Nolans.
Nolans.
In 1879, saccharin, an official sweetener, was discovered by Constantine Fahlberg and Ira Ramson of Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore. The FDA required warning labels from 1977 to 2000 on products using saccharin because it was a suspected carcinogen. After additional research, the FDA repealed the warning labels and declared that saccharin was safe for consumption, even though
Yeah, but it still
it's
tastes
disgusting. Yes.
Yeah.
Artificial sweeteners, no matter what the artificial sweetener is nasty.
Just a nastiness to it, yeah.
Aspartame, NutraSweet, saccharin, which NutraSweet and saccharin are the same, but aspartame, stevia or whatever that's called.
Stevia, yeah.
Stevia, yeah. Ugh, all of it. Just
That one's
tastes-
at least mildly tolerable. But the other ones, no, I'm not in the least bit
And
interested.
even-
Had them there, just
even mildly, the word mildly is probably pushing.
I was being kind.
Oh, I get it. On the 27th in 1900, Felix Hoffmann of the German Farbenfabriken of Elderfeld Company, was
Say that
issued a patent for acetyl salicylic acid, whatever, soon to be marketed by Bayer AG as the familiar pain reliever aspirin.
I was going to say, what is it with its real name?
Yeah. It was originally developed by aspirin itself was originally developed by Charles Frederick Gerhardt in 1853, but he never followed up on it, and it was soon forgotten. I take one of Felix Hoffmann's patented things a day.
Yep.
In 1985, on the 27th, former Vice presidential candidate Geraldine Ferraro appeared in a Diet Pepsi TV commercial. On the 28th, it's National Chocolate Souffle Day.
Yeah.
Saw that perking up.
Doesn't that sound good?
The chocolate.
Just
Chocolate
sounds
souffle.
awesome just thinking about that.
And then it's also National CSA Day, which is Community Supported Agriculture, and National Tartar Sauce Day.
Tartar sauce day.
Yeah.
I've never been a big fan of tartar sauce.
I like tartar sauce if I'm having, of course, fish.
Fish, yeah.
But truthfully, I would rather have a nice garlic aioli instead of a tartar sauce. However, I'm okay with either. Just throw a little, I like the caper aspect, the tanginess from that, and the tartness. I like that. But I don't get it often, but whenever I do, I enjoy it. On the 28th in 1827, the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, and if you're a Monopoly player, you know it as the B&O Railroad, incorporated as the first U.S. railroad chartered to carry passengers and freight. It all had been
Didn't realize
freight
it was the
before that.
B&O.
Yeah, the B&O. not to be confused with body odor.
Right,
that's a whole different thing. Yeah, it's just BO. On the 28th in 1930, yeah, that's what my degree is. I have a BS. I have a BS in BS. On the 28th,
actually, I thought you had the doctorate on that.
No, I just am well practiced in my field. In 1935, on the 28th, at the DuPont Corporation, Dr. Wallace Hume Carruthers invented nylon. A patent was issued in 1937, and nylon stockings soon followed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you, says all the would-be bank robbers after that. On the 28th...
Well, and those of us who appreciate how women appear when they're wearing them.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
You're not?
No,
really?
I prefer au natural.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like the feel of the stockings and nylons and pantyhose and all that stuff. Just not a fan. In 1956, on the 28th, Knott's Berry Farm was trademarked, or was registered as a trademark for syrups, jellies, jams, fruit preserves, and so on. The name was actually first used in 1928, but they just got round to it in 1956.
Yeah.
What,
again,
28
we've
years.
gotten past that now.
Yeah, 28 years later. In 2006, on the 28th, Chicago's oldest restaurant, the 107-year-old Berghoff restaurant, closed. It then reorganized and reopened again a year later. So,
you like to see the historic places come back.
Yeah. I don't know if it's in the same spot or if it's the same people. I don't know what's going on. They just said reorganized and reopened. So, I hate that they had the little hiccup in there, and you could have said at this point now, 117, 18, 19 years. So,
but every once in a while, you need to revamp, step back, redo.
Yeah, but you don't have to close it. You know, I'm sure they didn't know that was what they were going to do when they closed it, but really, you could probably say, you know, we just re-upfitted and we never closed. It was the same, but
yeah,
you know, make up whatever you want to. The truth is there somewhere. In 2009, reduced demand for butter and cheese and falling milk prices forced dairy farmers in the United States to sell hundreds of thousands of dairy cows to be slaughtered for meat. Estimates are that more than 15% of the 9.3 million dairy cows may have been sold for meat.
Wow. That's a lot.
Cows. On the 29th, it's Surf and Turf Day.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know if this really constitutes as eating, but it's World Sword Swallowers Day.
Ugh. Okay. Ow.
Tickle him. On the 29th, which doesn't happen very often, so I guess that's why they only do the World Sword Swallowing Day every 4 years, as well as Surf and Turf Day. In 1692, 3 women are arrested and accused of being witches in the village of Salem in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. In 1960, the first Playboy Club opened in Chicago at 116 East Walton Street in downtown Chicago.
Cool.
And that's all I have for the 29th, because again, it only happens once every 4 years, so we don't see a lot there.
I was going to say, yeah, that's not something we'll have a whole lot to talk about.
No. On the 1st of March, it's National Pig Day.
Yay.
It's national. I like me some pig. Yes.
Me too. Yeah. But I don't want their bristles on a brush in my mouth. Just going to say that again.
Yes, right. It's also National Horse Protection Day, also known as World Horse Day.
Okay. Horse Protection Day.
Yeah.
Protect them from what?
I don't know. Or maybe the horses are protecting us. I don't know.
Could be.
It's National, here you go, National Peanut Butter Lovers Day.
Yeah.
I dig it. And it's National Fruit Compote Day. So you can have the fruit compote with the peanut butter.
I don't know that I want to do that, but okay.
I mean, if you put it all on bread.
Well,
it's like peanut butter and jelly, just with compote instead of jelly.
Yeah, and truth, I mean, I was like, ooh, peanut butter and fruit. I'm like, well, that is peanut butter and jelly, and
Yeah.
I do put peanut butter on apples because that tastes really good. Yeah. I guess peanut butter goes with so many different things.
And what was I going to say?
No idea.
Because I'm one of those oddballs. I actually like peanut butter sandwich with orange marmalade.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, so I like that because got the rinds and stuff in the marmalade. I just like that. I'm just all about it.
I do too.
In 1784,
that's a favorite.
1784 on the first, E. Kidner opened the first cooking school in Great Britain. 1 year later, the Philadelphia Society for the Promotion of Agriculture was founded. In 1962, the first Kmart store opened in Garden City, Michigan.
Now they're almost gone.
Yeah, I thought it was older than that, but that's, 62, that's just, 58 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought,
So, yeah.
because I'm thinking, them and Sears. And Sears has been around since the late 1800s. So
Right. They've been around a whole lot longer as mail order.
Yeah, oh yeah. 1970 on the first, U.S. commercial whale hunting ended. Okay.
Good.
Yeah. We didn't need it anyway. In 1989, Jack Dietz set a new world record for watermelon seed spitting at 66 feet 11 inches. Wow. There are contests in many locations throughout the United States in the spring and summer. I don't know if I'd get 66 feet, but I can shoot a watermelon seed a good distance.
I can too, but 66 feet, that really is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, does it get a running start and sling his head? Much. Yeah, I know. But does it get like a running start and to sling his head? Does he like hold it to the side like a shot put? I don't know. I'd like to see.
I'd be curious to see now.
Yeah,
you got me thinking.
On the same day in 1989, a 75-year-long ban on beer was lifted in Iceland. Finally, in
they got over it.
Yeah, the year after that, 1990, the Royal New Zealand Navy was the last navy in the world to end daily rum rations for sailors. The British Royal Navy had been issuing rum rations to sailors as early as 1655.
Wow, that goes way back.
Why is all the rum gone?
I don't know.
In 2002, on the 1st, McDonald's announced in a press release that it had agreed to pay $10 million to Hindu and vegetarian groups to settle lawsuits over its use of beef flavoring in its French fries.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. And that's your food, holidays, and history for this week. Special
been an
thanks
exciting
to
week.
James Ealer at Food Reference for making us chuckle, roll our eyes, want some peanuts, or nuts in general, or fabric, or what we considered nuts, or legumes, Kahlua, and other things, and then making us also say that we, are glad that whales are not being slaughtered for blubber.
Yes.
Yeah, I've had nothing more funny to say there. But, there is rum.
And some people still have rations.
That's right. I ration rum every day. I ration beer every day.
I'm only gonna drink this case of beer.
Yeah, that's right.
I have rationed myself to a whole case.
Yep. I have cut down my consumption to 1 case an hour. So, the Man Who Hates to Tell Him podcast is part of the Less Desirables Podcast Network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to the Less Desirables, the Beer Dad, Fan Interference, Apartment 5, BB's, Wax, Vinyl, and more. Sipping and See, The Art of Drinking, and now Wheeler's Dog is actually a podcast on this network. You can find all these podcasts and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. You'll also find social media links. You'll also find social media links for each there as well. Yeah, Wheeler's Dog.
I don't know nothing about no Wheeler's Dog.
Wheeler's Dog is my friend Eugene. what he calls an award-winning blog. It won the award in 2006. It's kind of like Pabst Blue Ribbon, still calling themselves Blue Ribbon, even though that was in the 1800s when that happened.
And we've had much higher standards since.
Yeah. He says he's skirting the, what does he say? The realm of reason or something. It's basically just rantings and ravings from his mind. And the name Wheeler's Dog actually comes from Green Acres, because Ebb is engaged to be married to the Wheeler's daughter, and every time that is it Oliver? Is that the name? The Douglas?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. That's short.
Douglas, yes. Yeah. Every time that he raises his voice, this dog barks at him. And everything was Wheeler's Dog this and Wheeler's Dog that. So the name of his podcast or his blog is Wheeler's Dog, and the name of the podcast is Wheeler's Dog. So he has number 2 in the can. I've got to post it today. So
cool.
I would check it out. It's about, I don't know what this new one is, but the first one's only about 30 minutes long.
Okay.
It's
good.
just he spouts on TV and his mother-in-law, which is always a funny topic, and just things. So give it a shot. We'd also greatly appreciate if you visited our sponsors like Carrabba's Italian Grill, located at 587 South Stratford Road. Let Daniel demonstrate what a responsible, large-scale family of restaurants look like. Carrabba's takes the community it serves very seriously, and having a fantastic franchisee like Daniel certainly does not suck. Follow Carrabba's on social media and on Carrabba's.com. I'm sure the new wine dinner info will come out this week, and whenever it does, I will make sure next week we put it on here if I can't get Daniel here himself.
That would be cool.
Washington Perk and Provision Company is located at 301 West 4th Street. You'll find a little bit of everything at the Perk. Local fruits and veggies, meat and dairy from local sources. Bingo Bango sodas made right here in Winston-Salem, eventually here in this building. Wolfie's Custard, and more. Washington Perk is better than a convenience store, not quite a grocery store. On Facebook, they're Washington Perk, and on Instagram, they are Washington Perk _DTWS. The Humblebee Shop, which I have been in to see her twice in the last week, is in the West End downtown at 1003 Brookstown Avenue. You need to go to Instagram right now and look up the Humblebee Shop. Brittany is whipping up the batter on some delicious desserts, cakes, and muffins, whether it be vegan or gluten-free. The Humblebee Shop wants to challenge your perception of scratch-made and leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. For more information, follow them on Facebook and Instagram, or visit thehumblebeeshop.co.
That's SHOPPE.co.
Keep an eye on the blog and this podcast to find out more about food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, send us an email, tim@themanwhoatethetown.com, or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter instant messengers. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are Man8thetown. On Instagram, we are Man Who Ate the Town. And now we invite you to call and leave us a voicemail for the podcast. Actually, any podcast on the TLD network. You can call 336-422-8682. It's actually 6862.
What's that number again?
6862. I have it wrong. Hold on. 6862. That's right. 336-422-NUM. Leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on the podcast. Again, that's 422-NUM. 6862. My name is Tim.
My name's Ray.
And we're closing the recipe box. I had to get to the recipe box. I dropped it. Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit. Yamas. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the man who ate the town, that's me, and such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.